Hey, I'm going to be starting my stream in just a second. Hopefully let me know if my volume is okay. Let me get everything sorted. Oh my goodness. I have to remember to update my Behance first before I go live. I keep forgetting to do that, so it always takes the information from my last stream. But anyway, it's okay. We'll be fine. Anyway, it's continuing with the fall stuff. So let me make sure I'm streaming everywhere. And if you're one of my newsletter friends, feel free to say hey. Or if you're just happen to catch me, feel free to say hey. Let me know you're watching. And let me get my stuff going. So we're going to have a real straight into the point demo today. And yeah, it'll be straight into the point. So it's good. But if, like I said on my streamer announcement, if you're not familiar with my technique, check down below. I've got the links to show you my multicolor brush technique. You can download a bunch of freebies from my site. It's super cool. And let me just check my things. Okay, restream chat. Oh, hey, Gabriella. Super happy to hear you. And oh yeah, hi. We'll just call you oh yeah, because that's what your channel says. So yeah, we're continuing with our fall explorations, using my artistic autumn brushes, getting some fall inspirations, and like I was saying yesterday, don't sit on the Adobe stock. It's really cool. Let me go ahead and change into my standard screen here. I'm part of the future now with my Stream Deck, so I can change my scenes, yay, and without having to go into OBS. So I'm super excited about that. But yeah, don't be sleeping on Adobe stock. I was super shocked when I went on there and found out that they have a lot of free stock, free illustrations. It was crazy. Like I was super, super surprised. But one thing that I wanted to do before I got started was to give a little shout out to Maurilius Vanderhyde Fernandez. And she was inspired by yesterday's tutorial and shared this in our private and the Creators Couture Insiders Facebook group. So she had posted here that she took advantage of the Illustrator brush technique that I had pointed out, which for me, I always thought of it, but I was like, I don't know if I've actually shared that. Hey, Mark. Hey, from Connecticut. I'm super happy to see you here. So yeah, so what you can do is, you can create a little piece of foliage or whatever, create it in Photoshop, and rather than using Puppet Warp or what have you, you can copy and paste it into Illustrator, create an art brush out of it, and then just, use it as a brush stroke, paint it, change the direction. It's super useful. So I love to hear when you guys are using those techniques. That's amazing. So this is some artwork that Maurilius posted just a little bit ago. Gorgeous, using the tutorial and the ideas from yesterday. That was so awesome. She's using the gorgeous fall colors, the wet paint mixer brushes. I see some chain brushes in there. I see some Instaglam layer styles. So pretty. I love to see your guys' take on it. That is so cool. Like nothing makes me more happy. So just wanted to give a little shout out there. And if you're not part of our the Insiders Facebook group, it's just nice. It's not super big, but it's people that like to use my brushes and stuff, and then you can share and we can like pump each other up. So I'll have the link for Maurilius's Instagram down below, but it's creatology.m. So definitely give her a follow because she's always doing really cool stuff with my brushes. And yeah, so today we're gonna create this foliage fall inspired background frame, but we are going to get a jump start from Adobe Stock. So yeah, don't sleep on these resources. You can't beat it. Baruch, hello. Thanks for the emoji. Okay, so let's get into it. Let's get started. Don't want to take too much time here. So first of all, I've got this stock image that I got for free from Adobe Stock, part of your subscription. So I'm just gonna double click the background layer so that I have it as a layer, because otherwise when I cut, excuse me, when I cut the things out, it's going to have the background color. So anyway, just double clicked that, and then now I'm going to use my lasso tool. So I'm just gonna take these and pop these over to my document. So I'm just gonna select one I'm gonna cut, and let's go over here to this document, and we'll just put it on top here. So I'm going to push paste, and I don't need it so big, so I'm going to hit Command T, free transform. I'm just going to put it like the maximum size that I would want it. So I'll just click OK. And you know, here, this is going to be the center portion, and then I create my document with a little preview crop. So in case I brush off the side, that I can move things around and it won't be just cropped right off the side. So I like to give myself a little bit of wiggle room. Oh, hey, Go to Leave. Glad to see you here today. So yeah, like we just dropped this in, and now I'm going to go window arrange 2 up vertical because I want to see my, I want this over here. Come on. Okay. So I'm going to put this over here for reference so we have something pretty to look at during our demo to remind us what we're going to make. And okay, so let's go over to this document here. And I'm just doing this like this Adobe stock was actually a JPEG, but really all I want to use is the silhouettes of these. So it doesn't matter, you know, it doesn't matter that it's a JPEG or it's flattened or whatever. So yeah, we're just going to kind of like use that as a jumping off point. So it's really good. There's all kinds of little shortcuts we can do, because sometimes you don't want to do everything from scratch. You don't want to create all those shapes yourself, you know? So sometimes you got to take a little bit of a jump start. So I paste that over here. I'm just going to select my magic wand tool and click in the white area to cut that. And there we go. We've got the great, the shape that I want. So I'm going to right click, and I am going to convert this to a smart object because maybe, you know, we might want to change the size or something like that. So we're going to do the same thing with the other pieces of the foliage from this, this thing here. So let's cut that. And isn't that nice sometimes not to have to like create everything from scratch? You know, you can, you know, you have a vision or something, but yeah, not everything has to be done, you know, by you. You can use the resources that you have. So I think that's really good. For me, it's a little bit of like, there's a cooking show, I don't know if it's still on, that's called Semi Homemade. And so it's a little bit like a lot of my design is like semi homemade, you know, so you know, not everything needs to be done from scratch. You can do little like cheats and stuff. Not cheats, but you know, save you some time where you can. So, and think of all the time we save not having to draw all these. So let's see here. Same thing. Let's get this one. I like that they're not all leaves. They have different shapes. So let me cut that out. Oh, hey, Marilius. Super happy to see you. And I was just giving you a shout out for your awesome artwork on our group. Your stuff is, every time that I do something and then you create something inspired by it, it's always like looks nicer than the one that I did. It's always crazy. So I'm just copying and pasting these images over and removing the backgrounds and then converting them to smart objects. So if you have any questions anytime, just feel free to chime in the comments. And let's do the last one here. So the idea that I had was to actually, with this demo, I thought about using like these silhouettes in white and having a white background, but I love some rich color palettes and everything. Like I was thinking to have the white in the center and then having the white negative area, using, you know, these stock as a negative area. But then I decided to put it in gold because, hello, who are we kidding? I always love to put gold on my stuff. It's like one of my signatures. Oh my gosh, Marilius, no, thank you. I love it. I love it. Like, it totally pumps me up to see what people can do. It's just, that's the whole fun of it. And I've been really getting into these live streams lately. It's so much more fun. Okay, so now I've copied all of those from the stock site. And let's just take this center layer here. And now we're gonna arrange them. Let's see how I did it here. I'm going to arrange them and create some kind of like negative spaces. So I won't worry about it being perfect as always, because usually things always look nicer whenever I do them before my demo. And so I'm not even gonna worry about using a puppet warp or anything like that. I'm just going to use my free transform and, move them around. And I was thinking to create like separate areas and maybe change brush strokes, but anyway, I never really know how it's gonna turn out whenever I'm making it. Let's leave this one here. We can take the size down just a little bit. So we're just trying to create a nice rhythm around around the frame. And then when we have this frame, what we can do is, you could turn this into a quote graphic or something like that. So it could be like it could be for a lot of different things, or a sales template, or, what have you. You can do lots of things, or you could create just a digital background. So, okay. Let's see here. Not perfect, but we're going to go with that. So what I did at first was I grouped all these layers. So I select them all, Command G or Control. And then my first idea was to do them in like a negative, do like a negative space like this. Which that's kind of how I was starting it. And then I was thinking to do like a white center and have the autumnal, frame. So that we'll go like that. And one of the little hacks that I have is I keep a little group of layer styles on the top of my layer styles panel with like different color overlays. So black, light gray, white, light and darken, change the color, just so that I can quick apply this like a style like white really fast. But yeah, so that's cool. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to duplicate this group. So I'm going to Option and drag this group, or if you're on a PC, you could Alt. And then I'm just going to merge it. So I'm going to use it as a clipping mask, and I'll work non-destructively. So I'm going to leave that group behind, but then just have that layer as a mask. So let's just save my work here. And so the first thing that I started with was I didn't have any of these colors in mind, as I often do not. The first thing I did was I grabbed my pattern stamp tool. I've got my Artistic Autumn color palettes loaded, and I just grabbed one of my brushes that I thought would be cool. And I think it was, is it 37? Yeah. So I grabbed, thankfully I saved these. So I grabbed brush 37 from the Artistic Autumn collection. And so we're going to create a new layer below that, the negative layer, below that stock that we just put on. And what I did, let's just look over here. Wait. Going to refer to my original one here. Okay. Yeah. Okay. So, and which color did I load it with? I loaded it with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So the color palette number 7. And I just thought it was cool. So this is just kind of a foliagey sort of brush. So that was my starting point. And then I was just experimenting and layering brush strokes, as I often do, to create this like depth and texture. So there we go. So I kind of just put those behind the plants. So we're just building up some layers. And then let's see what else we got here. So I know that that's the one that's the one I started with. And then I knew I wanted to take, I wanted to work a tie-dye in here. So I made a new layer below that. And okay, that's the tie-dye. So this is for my tie-dye collection. After the tutorial, I'll put that down below. You can download most of my collections, you can download a sample of all the brushes for free in case you haven't yet. So this is the Tie-Dye Pattern Painter 1 brush. And I loaded it with this rich color palette right here. If we hover and be patient, it'll show what number it is. Okay, it's color palette number 21. Or you can make your own. Yeah. So I just went all over my background with this tie-dye brush stroke, and I loved it. And we've got that nice, rich red, you know, kind of a red and then green color. So then I need something behind it. So I'll put another layer behind that. And let's see if this is the, did I put a solid color? Now I'm curious of which, oh yeah. So what I did was, now that I've created that tie-dye, I need a color behind it. And I was thinking of what color to do or whatever, but I thought so what I chose in the end was like, I'll double click on my color fill layer. You make a color fill layer if you don't have one. And I was just sampling the colors that are on, you know, my brush strokes. And the one that I came with finally was this kind of an olive color. So I don't know how I sampled it, but I figured the tie-dye was enough. You know, it's enough. It's a lot. So let's just put a solid color behind it. So we've got that nice kind of, you know, olive green. So yeah, whenever I'm, you know, deciding my colors, a lot of times I'll start with a pre-made color palette and then I'll sample colors from that brush stroke. So then the next thing that I wanted to do, so then I was thinking, okay, what should I do now? And I decided, I was like, let's play with those vines and stuff in gold. And so, oh no, yeah. So I was like, let's play with those vines in gold. Oh, but the first thing that I did was I took the center thing and I go, okay, I sampled some color from like back here. So I was like, I think this will look cool with some deep, rich color. So I picked like a red from the back, from the tie-dye brush stroke. And yeah, once I got to here, I was like, I'm really feeling some gold in here. So then I took my stock layer with these gorgeous shapes and I applied one of my Celestial Goldmine layer styles, gold layer styles, which these I love. I've got to toot my own horn, but I think I used style number 2, I think it was. And I keep some of them loaded up into my styles panel so that I have them handy, but I have a lot of styles collections, which are mainly pattern overlays, especially gold ones. And I keep them in my Photoshop brush libraries, actually. And yeah, so I thought that was cool. I don't know if that's exactly the style. Let me just, I played around here and went to my, let me copy layer style. I'm curious if it's that one, paste layer style. Oh yeah, so it is the same layer style, but also what I did to add a little bit of extra oomph and drama is I added a small drop shadow to that layer just to add a little bit of separation so you get that feeling of depth. And then the last thing that I wanted to do was to try to make that gold stand out a little bit more. So above that original brush stroke that I did, I made a new layer. And let's see, here, did I get, oh yeah. Okay, so I used the new leaves brush that I released yesterday, and it's actually still attached to this one. So it's a nice leaves brush. Let me see if I can just give you a little view here. So this one is really nice. It's got these kind of a maple leaves in here. So I think it's really great for the fall designs. That's available to my Behance subscribers, and it's available to also if you're still on Patreon. So that's available for you guys. So I used one of the dark color palettes again, and I just wanted to add a little bit of touches kind of behind that gold so that, you know, you can really feel that. that gold there. So to create a little bit, some areas of contrast. And so I just kind of went around those gold, uh, gold things there. And then what I might do is make a new layer under that because I covered up some of my original brush stroke. So, you know, I can like add some more if I want of that original brush stroke if I covered up too much. So just, you know, play around. But I think it's cool. Like, oh my gosh, sometimes it's so hard to rein myself in. So I keep wanting to add another thing and another thing and another thing. But finally, I was like, Jessica, okay, you got to stop somewhere. So I think this is good. It's still a bit maximalist, but yeah, I think it's good. And then for an alternative version, oh, one thing I wanted to show you is I made one version with this nice square center. But then I thought, okay, what if I do something that's a little bit different for the center? So I'm going to turn this off, make a new layer below that gold, and I'm going to select this the dark red, you know, and go over to my gradient tool. And then with the gradient, I've got the radial gradient, foreground to transparent is selected here. And so then I go into the center and just start painting some gradients like this until it's kind of softly filled up in the center that I'm happy with it. And yeah, so that's, here, I'll show you how I did it over here. There. So it's like this. So that's the B version. And I think it's really pretty. And yeah, so that is going to be my tutorial for today. I kept it super short and sweet, but I don't want to like drag something out. And I am doing something new. I am going to, a lot of my demos or demo backgrounds that I make like this, I'm going to export them as 1080 by 1080, 72 DPI JPEG, and they can be free for anybody to use in your designs, your Canva templates, or your Adobe Express templates. And so I'm going to put them in a Creative Cloud library, and I'll have that linked up later on today. And then also, I'm going to, for the last 3 tutorials, I haven't attached the PSD demo files yet. So I'm going to do that as soon as I get off. And I think I will be on later today. I want to try to get, do these short and sweet templates to the point. I don't want to drag on a really long lives. And also I want to try different times so that I can catch different people and everything. So I'm going to do that. And yeah, trying to think if there's anything else. Make sure you download the freebies. I've got the new brushes for members, and I'll have these, I'll link up the Creative Cloud libraries so that I'm going to start doing like freebies for all with my digital backgrounds. So that's going to be exciting. And also I'm going to have some more resources for my Behance subscribers. So a lot of things on the work, you know, in the pipeline. And my next scheduled live is 1:30 tomorrow, but today I highly suspicion I'll be on with another tutorial later on. So anyway, yeah, Mark, where can you get the new leaf brush? Oh, so that's available for my Behance subscribers, which here is the 5 brushes that I released yesterday. And just in case you're not familiar with it, I'm just going to show really, really fast my Behance subscription, which is a new thing, so people aren't really used to it. On Behance, you can subscribe for $10 and get resources from creators. It's kind of like Patreon. And for mine, it actually comes with everything you see here. So all these different, it's huge. It's a huge library of tutorial resources, sampler packs from my collection, and you can access everything for $10. So it's like a real steal. And yeah, so check that out. I've got an explainer thing here for your membership benefits. Oh yeah, Claude, I have got if you're new to the color blending technique, I've got a link down in the description. I have a step-by-step guide for it. But I go through it fast on the tutorials because it would be really boring to go over the how-tos every time because most of my followers are really familiar with it. So anyway, that's me signing off, and I'm going to be updating my links, getting new resources, new freebies, all kinds of stuff. So make sure you're following me on Behance, and I'm going to update the last few tutorials with my demo PSDs. I'm going to have free flat files ready to go for people. So I'm really excited about that to share, lots of good stuff. So I will see you guys next time. Thanks for tuning in. And yeah, I'm going to get to work on some more goodies. So I'll see you next time. Let's see here. Oops.